Hey, what's up everybody? Zangief got a lot of buffs in Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, and if you don't know how to fight this character, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time. So, I put together 10 countermeasures that any character in this game can use when you're fighting against Zangief. I left out any character-specific punishes and general counter strategies, so remember, you can apply this with any character that you're playing in this game. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do in the Zangief matchup is to stop neutral jumping and back jumping to avoid his command grab. And instead, what you're going to want to do is forward jump. Always forward jump at close range against Zangief, and I'll show you why. So let's say Zangief hits you with this headbutt, which puts him at +4, and you think he's going to do a command grab, so you jump backwards. Well, that puts you outside of punish range, so Zangief not only gets to whiff a command grab, but you can't punish it either. Now if you do a neutral jump, you'll be able to punish it. However, good Zangief players will be able to react to your neutral jump and anti-air you with the OD Lariat. But if you do a forward jump, you'll be able to avoid the Lariat because it's really weak to forward jumps. So again, if you think he's going to go for an anti-air, you just jump forward and you'll be able to dodge his Lariat, and then you can get a nice punish counter, something like this. And then you'll be able to punish Zangief, and you can't really do too much about that. The only thing he can do to stop your forward jump is to go for an anti-air command grab, which would look something like this. So that'll beat both a neutral back and forward jump, but if the Zangief player beats you for that, well, then you just gotta give him props for making a good read. Tip number 2 is taking away his 50-50 mix and turning it into more of a 33% mix from his forward hard punch, which is his headbutt. Now, this move is really powerful because it puts Zangief at 4 frames of advantage. So after Zangief makes you block forward hard punch, he's at 4 frames of advantage and you're in a 50-50 mix-up, and you have to guess either between block to avoid his attacks or jump to avoid his regular throw or command grab, and it would look something like this. So here's the command grab option. I jump forward in anticipation of his command grab, but what Zangief can do instead is go for a light attack and stop me from jumping. So here I go for a jump to avoid the command grab, which I think is coming, but Zangief goes for a crouching light punch, which is a frame trap and stops me from jumping. And of course, Zangief can go into a full combo from that. So it's really a 50-50 mix, also because if you try to input a throw, the command grab will also beat your throw. So here's what it looks like. I do a throw, and of course, because Zangief has frame advantage, I get counter hit out of the throw, and then Zangief gets to set his Oki mix with drive rush forward into something. So what can you do in this situation? Well, it's not really a 50-50. You can actually make this more of a 33% mix-up by doing a delayed drive reversal after the headbutt. But the key is to do a delayed drive reversal, not an immediate drive reversal, and I'll show you why. So if you do an immediate drive reversal against his forward hard punch, he'll actually be able to block in time, and then you'll get punish countered with a punish command grab, which is going to be really bad both for your health and your drive gauge. So doing a delayed drive reversal during the end of his block stun after his forward hard punch will actually catch Zangief players pushing buttons trying to frame trap you off of their guard advantage. So this basically takes you from a 50-50 situation where you're guessing between block or jump and make it to a 33% kind of mix up, because the Zangief player now has to respect your block and kind of wait to see if you're going to do the drive reversal, which in turn will give you more opportunities to do things like jump, delayed buttons, and just block. Once you show the Zangief player that you know how to do delayed drive reversal against his forward hard punch, many Zangief players will stop attacking and start to block, which gives you opportunities to do things like set up drive rush pressure, which takes a lot of bar, but is a great way to kind of turn the tables a bit and get Zangief off you in a bit more of a safer way. Of course, blocking the forward hard punch is never going to put you in a good situation, and your guessing is kind of always going to be in a worse position than Zangief's guessing, but by adding delayed drive reversal to your game, you're going to be able to show the Zangief player that you know the matchup a lot better, and going to have to make the Zangief player work more for their mix-ups after forward hard punch. So if you haven't tried that out, definitely go for delayed drive rush after his forward hard punch. And in case you're wondering, yes, a delayed drive reversal will beat his command grab after forward hard punch. Tip number 3 is to learn how to punish Zangief's double lariat on reaction. Now there are 2 ways you can punish this move. So what'll happen a lot of the times is you'll block the first hit, the second hit will whiff. But if you try to attack with a standing attack, the second hit will clip you. So you should always try to punish with a crouching attack of some kind, whether it's a sweep or a crouching medium kick or even a crouching medium punch if you're in range. But if you're not sure about the range, there's one thing that every single character can do, and that's to mash drive impact after blocking the first hit of his double lariat, and it would look like this. And that's a full punish. Every character in the game can do this, and that'll beat Zangief when you're at those ranges where you're not sure if your crouching attack is going to be able to hit or if it'll whiff. So if you're not sure, go for the drive impact. You'll not only do drive gauge damage to him, but you'll get a nice juicy punish counter combo after it. So if you haven't tried that, give it a shot. It'll really help you after blocking the first hit of double Lariat. Tip number 4 is generally you're going to want to backdash against his pressure rather than doing a forward jump unless you have a really good read. And the reason for that is because you end up taking less damage for a mistake on your guessing. And I'll show you what I mean. So Zangief's combo damage after lights is actually pretty low even when using drive gauge, assuming he doesn't have 3 bars of super. So in this situation, I'm going to block a forward hard punch, then I'm going to mash on backdash in anticipation of a command grab. Okay, well, I made the wrong read. He hit me. He uses 3 bars of drive to get 1,631 damage, which isn't a lot for the bar being used. However, if he goes for the command grab instead, and I guess wrong, and just block, well, then I 2,500. So the damage I take for guessing wrong is a lot more than the damage I would take from guessing wrong on the backdash. So backdashing is a much safer option, and of course, if he does go for the command grab, well, now I get a nice punish. At least 2,880. If I go for a full combo, I can get 3,000, which is more damage than Zangief would have gotten if he landed the command grab. So that's why doing a backdash is actually pretty good in terms of risk reward for you. Again, you don't want to always rely on backdash, but just remember that his combos off of lights don't do that much damage, so you shouldn't be too afraid of mashing on backdash whenever you think Zangief is going to go for a command grab. This next tip is a tip that's really going to help more beginner level players and especially players fighting against modern Zangiefs because they have access to one button command grabs. So I'm sure this has happened to you before. You get into close range with Zangief and you try to set up something like a tick throw and they mash command grab and it comes out as a reversal. This will happen at close range, or even if you're going for a jump in and a light and you try to throw, you get counter hit reversaled against his command grab. So what should we do? The counter against this is to not go for single attacks and to always do delayed strings, because this will actually catch Zangief out of the startup of his command grab. So off a jump in, it would look like this, or from close range, it would look like that. So if you do delayed light strings against Zangief players who are mashing command grab, that'll beat them. If you notice that your opponent is always mashing command grab after you do a single light, you can make them block a single light, jump forward or backdash, avoid their command grab, and go for a punish. And that'll blow up players who are always mashing command grab after you put them into any block stun of any kind. Next tip I have for you is to not be afraid to mash 4-frame normals after blocking some of Zangief's normals. A really common thing that Zangief will do is he'll make you block a single crouching light punch, expect you to respect his pressure, and then try to sneak in a command grab. If you think Zangief is going to go for this, you should try mashing a 4-frame light after his lights, because this will actually counter hit him and let you go for a good combo, something like this. And this leads into a really good option select, because if Zangief does 2 crouching light punches, there's actually no gap in this if he just mashes it out. So you can mash on your 4-frame light and it won't even come out if he keeps on going for the string. Then you'll have to know what your best long range light to go after to make sure that you don't get hit by the command grab afterwards. Because if I just keep on mashing a light in this situation, I get hit by the command grab. So you can do something like do a light, doesn't come out, then you end with a standing light kick and you'll counter hit him out of his command grab. This is going to come down to your character and what kind of moves you have, but just don't be afraid to mash on 4-frame lights during his pressure, because that's going to be another good, safer way to stop his command grab pressure and to open up the Zangief opponent right when your opponent thinks they're in a really good position, but you can turn the tables on them. So don't forget to mash on those 4 frames and always look for the counter hit so you can convert off your button presses. Don't just mash mindlessly, mash with purpose. Now, I know I said I wouldn't get into character-specific things, but I kind of have to with this one, and the next tip is to learn which of your attacks can safely whiff punish Zangief's standing medium kick and standing hard punch, especially standing medium kick. This move is really hard to whiff punish, especially with crouching attacks. Akuma has a pretty decent crouching medium kick, but Zangief's standing medium kick shuts it down. Now, I labbed this a bit with Akuma, and it seems like his best move to do against this is actually a crouching hard kick, a sweep. You're going to have to spend time in the lab with your character to figure out which of your moves is the best against this, but you're going to need to be able to whiff punish this move because it is strong, and if you're blocking this all day, you're going to take tons of drive gauge chip damage, so don't let Zangief players get away with a standing medium kick. And of course, the same goes for standing hard punch. You're going to have to know which of your buttons beats it and what you can do, and also what spacing you can be at to whiff punish it safely, especially if he goes for the charge version. So go to training mode, figure it out, and you'll know what to do next time Zangief whiffs this move. The next tip is to learn how to do an option select off of your safe jumps when Zangief has level 3, especially in the corner. Now Zangief doesn't have very many invulnerable wake up options, but the one that he does have is quite powerful because it beats safe jumps, and that's his level 3 wake up super. So for example, a regular safe jump with Akuma would look like this, jump into hard kick, and that's a safe jump. He has to block that. If he does a reversal, he'll get hit. However, if Zangief instead decides to wake up with a level 3 against my safe jump, I'll lose. So this is why we have to do an option select. There are 2 option selects we can do off any safe jump to beat his wake up level 3 super. You can either tap jump right before you hit the ground, or you can tap backdash right before you hit the ground, and it'll look something like this. First I'll show you the jump method, and then I'll show you the backdash method. So that's the jump input. And that's the backdash input. And if Zangief decides not to push a button, the hit stun or block stun off of your jump attack will cancel out your jump or your backdash, so it's safe and it won't come out. See, my backdash didn't come out there. However, if I turn on the reversal, my jump will come out if he decides to do the super. So you have to learn this against Zangief if you're going for safe jumps against him, because if you don't, you're just leaving it to chance. Trust me, it's really good. You want to learn this one. The next tip is to always be ready to input a jump when you're going for meaty throw pressure against Zangief. Now, I mentioned before that Zangief doesn't really have good invulnerable wake up reversals, but he can backdash to beat your meaty throw, and it looks something like this. And a lot of Zangief players will do what we just saw here. They'll backdash, then immediately do a command grab to kind of catch you by surprise after whiffing your throw. And that's why you should always try to kind of just input a jump after you miss your throw, because that's the most common thing that Zangief players will do, kind of mash a command grab after they do a backdash. Practicing this in training mode is actually really easy. All you have to do is set his wake up reversals to either forward jump, normal throw, or record him doing a wake up backdash into command grab. You're going to want to turn those on and then practice reacting to them individually. Now, I did practice this before I recorded the video, so I'm kind of in the mood and ready to go for it. But if you haven't practiced against this before, definitely go into training mode, turn on these settings on wake up reversal, and practice reacting to what Zangief does after you miss a regular meaty throw. It'll help you a lot in this matchup. Another thing you'll definitely want to learn to help you in the Zangief matchup is this. After Zangief goes for a regular command grab, a lot of times he'll do a drive rush in and then go for crouching hard kick, which puts him at -9, but he's usually too far away to get punished. If you notice that the Zangief player you're fighting against is always going for this on your wake up, you can just mash drive reversal and you'll get a punish counter against him. That's one thing to do. Now, there are things that the Zangief player can do that'll blow up your drive reversal, but if they commit to the drive rush crouching hard kick, then there's nothing the Zangief player can do to avoid your drive impact on wake up. And the last thing that you're going to want to learn against Zangief in order to help you in this matchup is to react against his overhead option off drive rush after his command grab. So a lot of Zangief players will kind of go for a mix-up between crouching hard kick or forward hard kick, which is an overhead, and you have to block this standing. But even if you block it standing, Zangief's only -4, and since Zangief's -4, you can only go for a 4-frame move to punish, but Zangief's left out of spacing where you can't punish. So the best way to beat this move is to perfect parry it, because that's going to give you your only guaranteed punish against this option. Now, of course, since it's a perfect parry combo, there's going to be a lot of damage scaling, so you're not going to get a lot of damage off of this, but it's much better than getting nothing just for reacting and blocking high. It also gets Zangief off your back, puts you back to neutral, and that's exactly where you want to be against a grappler as strong as he is. So that's it for today's video, everybody. I hope these tips help you in the Zangief matchup. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribe to the channel, because it helps me out as a content creator. Thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, take care.